Phinde ngibingelele bazalwane egameni lenkosi yethu Jesu. So sifundiso sethu sisaqhubeka. Mesenze revision encane nje conclude le 2520 besikhuluma ngayo. Sikhulume Daniel chapter 4 la besikhuluma ngo Nebuchadnezzar ephupha isihlahla esikhulu. And then wafika uDaniel ezo-explaina leyo dream, and then wamtshela ukuthi lesi sihlahla uwe lo Nebuchadnezzar. And mukhumbula-ke kuthiwe 7 times will pass over Nebuchadnezzar, nangiyalwa 7 times. Njengoba sazi ukuthi 7 times u 7 years, 7 years is 2520 days. So sithi 2520 punishment, then sibone Nebuchadnezzar punishwa-ke ehleli 7 years nezilwane. And then after 7 years uzobuyiselwa back to his kingdom. So sithi leya 2520 representa i-gathering, mengabe umuntu epunishwa ephinde futhi ezibuyisa abuyele kuNkulunkulu. And then enye 2520 soyibona-ke leya kaBelshazzar-ke. So uBelshazzar uzothi-ke edla iwayini namakhosikazi akhe nama-concubines akhe. Kubese-ke kubhale kubonakala isandla sibhale odongeni, mene tekel ufarsin. So sifuna ukuthi siphinde sithi ukuyibhekisisa kancane ngoba recording yethu izangihambe kahle izolo, right? So nayo-ke into ibhaliwe-ke mene tekel ufarsin. And then-ke uzongena uDaniel ayi-explain-eke njengoba ulazi-ke iBhayibheli, Daniel chapter 5 lo sikuyena manje. And then into esifuna ukuyisho-ke ukuthi imene yini, what is a mene? So njengoba ubona-ke ama-weights lawa, these are weights. So imene sithe it is 50 shekels. So mene, so 50 shekels, about 2 labo yabona. And then the tekel, sithe tekel is shekel. So shukut is one shekel. Will be tekel sithi shekel. They say ufarsin yini. Ufarsin is 25 shekels. So mawusihlanganisa-ke lezi zinto zizonke zizokukhiphela-ke 126 shekels. And then sabe sesifunda-ke Ezekiel chapter 45 verse 12. Lo sophinde simfunde manje ngoba sifuna ukuveza something else. So mawufunda Ezekiel 45 verse 12. So kwenzekalani la? Again sikhulunywa ngalama measurements. So kuthiwa la Ezekiel 45 verse 12, and the shekel shall be 20 gerahs. So uyayizwa-ke lena. Shekel liyini futhi 20 gerahs. So kusho ukuthi uma ufuna ukuthola-ke manje ukuthi how many gerahs in this 126 shekels, so fanele utimes ngo-20 angithi. And then sithe u-20 uzokukhiphela-ke bani-ke manje 2520, right? Siyayibona. So sabe sesithi-ke inye 2520. So kusho ukuthi yini kahle le esibona odongeni, sibona i-2520. 2520 sithi yini? It's a punishment, right? So Belshazzar njengamanje uzonikezwa judgment ukuthi i-kingdom yakho is finished, you are found in the balances, the kingdom is divided to the Medes and the Persians. Ngalolo suku wafa uBelshazzar, yathatha ikingdom yaseBabylon, aphindanga futhi yaba restored leya kingdom, yaphela ngalolo suku, right? So then sithi-ke enye into ke ufuna uyibheke-ke manje, sifuna ukuyi-eda-ke la. Mawufunda la kulo 45 verse 12 Ezekiel, siqhubeka kuthiwa, okay, siqaleke, and the shekel shall be 20 gerahs, right? Bese kuthiwa 20 shekels, okay? Khona enye into esizwayo-ke manje, 20 shekels, okay? Sifunda verse 12. Bese kuthiwa 5 and 25 shekels, okay? 5 and 25 shekels, and 5 shekels, that's 25. 5 and 20 shekels, all right? Bese kuthiwa 15 shekels, okay? 15 shekels shall be what? Bese kuthiwa shall be your money, shall be your money. So khona into esizwayo manje la kuthiwa imane, the money or money is same thing. 20 plus 25 plus 15 uzothola bani la? Uzothola 60. Siyabona? So sitshelwe enye into futhi manje ukuthi imane is 60 shekels. Siyabona liyana? But isithe thina imane is 50 shekels. So kusho ukuthi imane can be 50 shekels or 60 shekels, depending ukuthi usebenzisa maphi ama-measurements. Siyayibona liyana? It can be 50 shekels or 60 shekels. Yabona? Njengoba uyuzwe make-specify, make-kuthiwa these weights and measurements according to the shekel of the sanctuary. Uyayibona liyana? So ukuthi depending ukuthi usebenzisa maphi ama-measurements, because a mene can be 50 shekels. Kuya ngokuthi kuphi yabo? Fanele uthole indawo la ukuthi labo bantu baleyo ndawo bazobe besebenzisa uhlobo luni lama-measurements. So a mene can be 50 shekels, but a mene can also be 60 shekels. Siyabona liyana? So sithini-ke thina soyifuna, because thina we are students of prophecy, sisazama nje uku-establisha these numbers. Mengabe manje your money is 60, so kuzokwenzekani-ke manje? Ake siyibheke-ke futhi manje le nto. So mengabe your money is 60, so sithi your money can be 60, so shukuthi-ke manje your money is 60, angithi uyabona? Shekel say 1, and then your ufrasin izoba ubani manje? 30, because half we money if ufarsin, angithi uyabona? So mawuhlanganisa-ke manje kusho ukuthi uzothola bani-ke manje? Ake siyibheke, siyibhale kanje-ke manje. Phezulu besithe 126, la ngezansi kuzoba ubani? 151. Mawuhlanganisa 60 plus 60 plus 1 plus 30. Siyabona? So ithi-ke manje leyanto, you need to bear in mind ukuthi 151, this number again, it is important, because le number nje ubona sizenza manje sizama ukuthi sibe familiar nazo, kwenzela ukuthi mase sizisebenzisa in the future ungamangali ukuthi ziqhamuka. So kusho ukuthi 151 Any number futhi le associated ne-2520. So yibona leyanto. Somehow it is associated nalento esiyenza la. So you just keep these numbers in mind. You have a 126, a 151. We're going to use these numbers in the future. Sikaidwa Ezekiel chapter 45 verse 12. So iloko nje besifuna ukuveza, and then we will move on because sifuna ukuya kwezinye izinto namhlanje. Okay, so ake singene kwenye into ke manje. Sifuna ukuyi-establish njengamanje ukuthi there are two calls. Ama-calls abiza abantwana bakaNkulunkulu. Ake sifunde Ezra chapter 8 verse 15. So mesifunda Ezra ke, you understand ukuthi uEzra ke usetshenziswa manje ukuthi akhiphe abantwana bakaNkulunkulu eBabylon. Njengoba wazi ukuthi bangenile ke eBabylon, bahlala for 70 years ngoprofeti kaJeremiah. After 70 years bayaphuma bazo-establisha ke itempeli. After that establish iJerusalem nge-decree ka-Artaxerxes ku-Ezra chapter 7 verse 13. I-decree yesithathu le. Awu-3 lama-decrees angithi. Cyrus, Darius, Artaxerxes. And so Ezra kuye ke onikwa amagunya ke manje inkosi ukuthi organize uIsrael njengoba bebuya ke manje bephinda bebuilda iJerusalem. So uzothi mefika ke manje sebala abantu because he has to organize the church. Fana organize i-sanctuary, umsebenzi ozokwenziwa abapriest manje etempelini, uyabona. Now verse 8, chapter 8 verse 15 kufundeka kanje. And I gathered to the river that runneth unto Hava. Sorry. Siphinde futhi sifunde la verse 15. And I gathered them together to the river that runneth to Hava, and there abode we in tents 3 days. And I viewed the people and the priests, and found there none of the sons of Levi. So uthi Ezra, ngithe mase ngibheka abantu ngiqoqa abantu, ngathola ukuthi hayibo abapriest abekho la. So abapriest abezanga, uyabona. So ke manje kusho ukuthi uthi ama-Levites, the sons of Levi awekho. So ama-Levites la ngekho. Beg your pardon, excuse me. So ama-Levites la ngekho, right? So abapriesti bakhona. Verse 16, then sent I for Eleazar, for Ariel, for Shemaiah, and for Elnathan, and for Jarib, and for Elnathanam, and for Nathan, and for Zedekiah, and for Meshullam, chief men also for Joiarib, and for Elianath, man of understanding. So sithi ke uzozwa ke manje ukuthi ke kuzothunyelwa ke manje ukuthi akuyolandwa abanye ama-Levites la shodayo. And then ke story mesiqhubeka ke njengoba bezobalwa ke manje bazobalwa. Verse 18, and by the good hand of our God upon us they brought us a man of understanding of the sons of Mali, the son of Levi, the son of Israel. So qoqa ama-Levites ke la nangu no chief ukuzowalead ama-Levites, right? Bese kuthiwa verse 20, also Also of the Nethinims, whom David and the princes had appointed to the service of the Levites, 220 Nethinims, all of them were expressed by name. So, nanga ama-Levites now aqoqiwe bese kuqoqwa-ke manje nama-Nethinims. So, sifuna ukunotha-ke ukuthi-ke there are 3 groups la uma ungabuzwa kahle. Ma-3 groups esivezelwa wona, but sifuna ukuzwa leya nto yokuthi ama-codes ayi-2, right? First kubizwa abapriest, sekubiziwe abapriest thola ukuthi ama-Levites awekho, siyabona. And then bese kuba khona i-call yesibili-ke manje yokubiza ama-Levites, siyabona, kulo msebenzi ka-Ezra. Then bese kuthiwa also kuzobe-ke sekubizwa abani-ke manje nama-Nethinims. Azoseva ama-Levites, siyabona. So you have lama groups ayi-3 azosevisa manje ethempelini likaNkulunkulu. So ilonto esifuna sigcine engqondweni ukuthi-ke ethempelini laNkulunkulu you have 3 people abasebenzayo lapho, the priests, Levites and the Nethinims. And laba bayi-2, they are part of Israel, or babantu bakwa-Israel, siyabona. Lo yedwa lama Nethinims bona bayini? Bama-Gentiles, siyabona. Laba bayi-2 bakwa-Israel, laba bangezansi bama-Gentiles. So sazi kanjani ukuthi bama-Gentiles laba? So buyele esitorini sethu ke sidala ke sika Joshua, I think it's Joshua chapter 9. So mawuya kuJoshua chapter 9 uzosithola lesi story. So Joshua chapter 9 isiphi story? Istory sama-Gibeonites lesi. So ama-Gibeonites usakhumbula into ayenza-ke. Ama-Gibeonites athe mesezwa ukuthi abantu baka-Israel bayeza, and then base besaba ngithi. And then mase besaba bese bekha i-plan ukuthi sizosindisa kanjani. And so base beberoba ke bebekhohlisa ngithi yabo. So uzosikhumbula ke story ukuthi bathini, bagqoka izingubo ezibolile, bagqoka izimpahla ezibolile, baphatha izikhwama ezibolile, nezinkwe ezibolile, newayini elidala elibolile, and so forth. Bazotshela uJoshua ukuthi hayi siqhamuka le ine-far country ezweni elikude thina. So sizwile ngoNkulunkulu wenu, uyabona, sisaba, right? So size la manje sizozinikela futhi sifuna ukwakhani ubuhlobo nani, sifuna ukwakha ileague nani, angithi uyabo. uJoshua besathi uyababuza ngempela nisuka indawo la iduze nina nabantu bakuyo, bathi njengoba ubona nje ukuthi impahla besizigqokile, le impahla sazigqoka zingabulanga sizigqoka, but ngenxa yobude bendlela sihamba endleleni zazizabola, ngithi uyabo, zabolela la kuthina sizigqokile. Nalezi zinkwe siziphethe siphume nazo, lezi zinkwa ziphila, but yabo zize zabola bheka manje. Uzibone ngempela sisuka le kude, yabona. Hayi wathi uJoshua ke mensho kanjalo-ke sakhiye isivumelwano kwafungwa ngoNkulunkulu. After some 3 days behleli la nalabantu kwatholakala ukuthi labantu laba ama-Gibeonites lawo, labantu abala endaweni laba ave besuka kude labantu. Babizwa labantu, hawu madoda nasikhohlisa kunze njani? Hayi basho ukuthi hayi ngempela beyingekho enye indlela, nathi besisaba, ayikho enye indlela besizama ukuzisindisa, kahle kahle vele sisuka la vele eduze. athi ama-leaders mababulawe but kodwa kwathiwa no ngeke abantu bathi mababulawe athi leadership no abangabulawe yabona because ngeke sakwazi manje ukubabulala because sesifungile futhi manje ngoNkulunkulu sakhe ileague nabo sakhe icovenant sifunge ngoNkulunkulu asikwazi ukubabulala and so wasethi uJoshua ke ayike into ezokwenzeka ke ngoba ke asizukwazi ukunibulala ke into ezokwenzeka ke nizosebenzelana thina nina yabona yonke into enisifunayo inini enizosikhelela amanzi inini enizosikhelela izinkuni inini enizosenzela yonke le menial job wonke lemsebenzi le egqilazayo inini enizoyenza yabona so bathi labantu hayi noma yini ofuna ukuyenza kuthina we are your servants thina as long nje singaphansi kwakho hayi ke nampela kusukela lapho kuma-Gibeonite associate no-Israel ngalolo hlobo so sithi ke yibo laba bantu ke kuthiwa ama-Nethinims lawo esikhuluma ngabo ama-Nethinims laba bantu abama-Gentiles ama-Gibeonites umsuka wabo ngisho yabo and so this is why uzobathola besebenza ke in the temple because kuthiwa bazoserva the Levites yabona because ama-Levites iwona enza imisebenzi lapha so azothumela ukuthi letha ukuthi lethani inkuni lethani amanzi lethani yonke lento so basebenzela bona siyayibona alright so sithi ke i3 lama groups ekufanele wa-understand in the temple of God and so sithi ke you have to understand that ukuthi even namanje sifundo Ezra chapter 8 verse 15 ama-calls mangaphi ayi-2 because iqale kwabizwa aba-priest mekubalwa abantu kwathola abantu abafikile aba-priest okwazi ukuservice ithempeli aba-priest ama-Levites engekho yabo and so this is why kufanele kubizwe another call ukuthi kubizwe ama-Levites and then ama-Levites ke aqoqwa futhi ke manje kwahlanganiswa nama-Nethinims kuzoqalwa kumsebenzi wasethempelini siyabona so i-principle ke le efuna ke siloko siyigcinile ke singayilibali ke right singayikhohlwa now siye kubheka lama history zethu ke manje because uyakhumbula ukuthi sikhuluma ngani kahle kahle sikhuluma go alpha history of ancient Israel angithi sithe khona ancient Israel right and then bese siba nobani omega history of ancient Israel so leya history kaMoses angithi bese kuba leya history kaKristu siyabona so then bese kuba modern Israel right and then bese siba no modern Israel so uphinda nakhona ube ne history alpha history yokuqala and then bese uba ne omega history kuyo le history ka modern Israel so sithe i-history kabani le ka William Miller raised William Miller la qala khona this Adventist church angithi yabona and so ekugcineni sikhuluma ngani nge-144,000 uyabona so leli bandla ke manje le period esikuyona njengamanje eqale ngo-1989 angithi le eqale ngo-1798 so sithi ke this is why ke if manje ubheka la uzothola ukuthi how many calls abekhona la into ifuna ukuyi-establisha ke la there was one call la ithi into nje phumane Egypt angithi yabo and igroup e1 lesayibona iphuma ngithi yabo le group ezothi mayiphuma ithi mayifike eCanaan bese yenza umsebenzi kaNkuluNkulu ngoba kwakufanele benzeni lapha ya bavezele izizwe ubuhle baloNkuluNkulu angithi igospel bakufanele bashumayele bebonakale begcina imithetho kaNkuluNkulu bese izizwe ziyamangala ukuthi laba bantu abanoNkulunkulu omuhle kangaka and then izizwe zibe attracted kubona. Deuteronomy chapter 7 lo establishile lezi zinto, uyabona. So uphinde ke uthi maso i1 le call, uyabona. But mawufika lapha kuya history kaKristu manje, ama calls mangaphi ke manje akhona. There are 2 calls, uyabona, because iyoqala i-call eyiphi ile biza ama disciples angithi, fake bizwe ama disciples lapha, right. Esibili call izobiza the second group, khona igroup yesibili lapha ngithi uyakhumbula kuthiwa uKristu mase bashiya nomyalo uthini, uthi shumalan qala endlini kaIsrael angithi, ngaphambi kokuba baphume baye ngaphandle, yabona. Kufanele baqale phi endlini yakwaIsrael, uyabona, because phela bongakapheli lo 70 weeks, yabona. So 70 weeks bongakapheli, uphela ngo34 AD u70 weeks. So manje uKristu kuphi la khona, ulapha ngo31 AD ukhuluma nabo ukuthi ngiyahamba ke manje ngezulwini, but ngisafanele niqhubeke nishumayele, but ningaqali niphume niye kuma Gentiles, yabo. Qala nishumayele kwaIsrael, because 70 weeks awukapheli ngithi yabo, kufanele uphele nini ngo34 AD. So yona ke into abazoyishumayela ke manje la kuzovuswa ke manje the second group ke manje. So ila kuzobe kuphenduka oStefano nabanye abazalwane ke abazophenduka, abazokwakha this Christian church angithi uyabona. So kuzothi mase kufika ke manje ngo34 AD bese igospel ke iyaphuma ke manje, seyiyapi ke seyiya kuma Gentiles ke manje gospel, uyabona. So mase bekhanda uStephen ngamatshe bese kuvusa uPaul uthi yena apostoli to the Gentiles. So sithi ke ayi2 ama calls la, ama disciples laba abayi12 abebehamba noKristu, group yokuqala leyo, and bese kube igroup yesibili leke manje ekuthiwa mabahambe bashumayele kwaIsrael iqala ngithi yabo. Kutshelwa laba ama disciples ukuthi hambani ushumayela kwaIsrael, na impela bazonikeza umoya engcwele ePentecost, and then uzothi mawehla umoya engcwele then maqale ke ba preach ke manje with this power, and then but bazoqala kwaIsrael, yabona, before bamove baye ngaphandle, right. So siyazi ukuthi bazobe sebephishwe na persecution lapha, sebeshushiswa sebesaba amaJews, yonke ezokwenza bahlakazeke baphume, right. So sisho leyo nto ukuthi ke you have 2 groups, uyabona, which are being called out, abizwayo la. So ama disciples bese kuba sothini, sothi this second group asibize kanjalo nje, ama disciples odwa la uqala, right. Then ke mase kubizwe lama groups ayi2 kwaIsrael, then igospel seyiyaphuma ke iyapi kuma Gentiles, iloko besifuna ukusho. Now mawufika la kumila, because lama histories ayafana, so expect ukuthi ama groups la zoba mangabe. Igroup ezobizwa ifanele ibe ngapi, kufanele ibe yi1 angithi uyabona. There's only one group la, angithi sikhuluma ngo1798 ukuthi ngo1798 kuzo raise uWilliam Miller uzobe seshumayela imessage ukuthi uKristu uyabuya, and ke mayise ivuthwa le message izobe seyithi Babylon is fallen out of the churches, Revelation chapter 14 verse 8 lo, ukuthi sekuyisikhathi sokuthi mabaphume kulama fallen churches, uyabona. And so na impela bazophunga abantu. So sithi there's only one group nje la ozoyibona, uyabona, and then mesingayibhala kahle nje lento khona uzoyibona. So nayi lento le 1798, right. uyashumayela kulimit, but we know ukuthi ke ngo-1844 mase kufika ngo-1844 this church is finished, seliphelele manje, yabona. And ozosala manje kulama churches la kuthiwa imithandazo yakhe iphendulwa ubani? Iphendulwa uSatan, angithi? And so because abantu baNkulunkulu ba-understand manje ukuthi khona isicabha esivulekile kubi in the most holy place. So mawusele holy place usele noSathane vele manje. So abaningi ke basala, angithi yabo. And then bese ke uNkulunkulu amove into the most holy place. Then bese kufonywa leli bandla, angithi uyabona. So but uzobona ke ngo-1850 konke sitshelwayo ukuthi uEllen White uzokhuluma ukuthi sikhona quote efanele sifunde la ukuthi ngo-1850 there was a gathering, a second gathering manje, uyabona. But leya gathering leyana kukedarishwa ba ngoba sithe uKristu yabuya ngo-1863, angithi sisho njalo. So ngo-1850 khona enye gathering. So night gathering yokuqala, this is the first gathering lesikhuluma ngayo le efanele ipreach outside God's church. Sisho njalo because these churches are fallen njengamanje, kuthiwa abantu mabaphume, right? But ngo-1850 there's another gathering, uyabona, a second one ke manje. So leyana iyobiza abantu manje. So leyana iyobiza the Gentiles. So sebebizwa ngama-Gentiles ke manje, yabona. So this was not to the churches le gathering. Le gathering le eyayizogijima umhlaba wonke le iwonisha abantu ukuthi uKristu uyabuya nini ngo-1863, siyabona. Because phela manje ibandla laNkulunkulu selikhona lakhiwe, yilona manje selizohambisa umsebenzi, elizohambisa imessage to the Gentiles. So how many call? I-call i-one nje. So there's one call. Njengoba noMoses, there was one call ukuthi mabaphume e-Egypt bese beyoshumayela kuma-Canaanites, yabona, and the Amorites, the people around there. So ithi kunala kunabo abantu bakhishwa kulama churches, you have this call. And then mase kufika ngo-1850 manje lo msebenzi kufanele bahamba ushumayela umhlaba wonke ngoba uKristu uyabuya ngo-1863, siyabona. So leyo nto sifuna ukuyibheka ukuthi there's only one call, siyabona. Kuyabonakala, I'm sure. And then ke manje izothi ke mayifika ke lapha ya, because le history ifana nale. So kusho ukuthi azoba mangapha ama-calls la. There has to be two calls, angithi. So lama groups esithi aba-priest, then ama-Levites, angithi sisho njalo. Then ke bese kuba ama-Nethinims. Ama-Nethinims abezizwe, angithi. So there's gonna be two calls in this church age, and then bese kuba ama-Nethinims. So leyo nto esifuna nje ukuthi siyibone la before we move forward. I hope icacile, iclear nje njengoba sichaza. All right. So sifuna ukuphinda futhi sibuyele kulowa line wethu ophezulu. So sicomparisha ke uline kaKristu noline wethu. So lowa line wokugcina bongaphi? Omega history of Christ ne-144,000, right? Yiyo le line ephezulu. So nayo into esoyenza. So into efanele understand ukuthi ke there's this line osuka eqaleni, time of the end, ufika kuphi? Ekugcineni kwaKristu or ekubuyeni kwaKristu, at the second coming of Christ, siyabona. Lo line esithi ke lo is a big line, uline omkhulu, ngamanye amazwi history yonke iphelele, uyabona. But manje kufanele uunderstand ukuthi ke inside kulo line njengomkhulu, there has to be 3 groups inside this line. Siyayibona liyana ngoba sikhulumile manje ngalama groups ukuthi sifuna ukubona lama groups i3 inside this line, uyabona. So ke manje ilonto esizama ukuyenza ke njengamanje. So sikhuluma ke sizoqala ke siveze mhlambe asiqale futhi siphinde siubheke lo line. Angithi line omkhulu lo uline kaKristu, so yenza ke in parallel labo line kaKristu uqala 4 BC mekuzalwa uJohn, mekuzalwa uJohn the Baptist, kuzalwa uKristu futhi at the same time. And then mase iqhubeka le history, uKristu uthini uyabaptizwa manje ngo27 AD according to Daniel chapter 9 verse 25, yabona. Make to even unto the anointed one. So the anointed one is Christ. La anointed one, la baptized on 27 AD, right? Then bese iwe mark elandelayo it's 34 AD. Mase bekhanda Stephen ngamanje ama-Jews reject gospel. Phela lo 40 kuphela lo 70 weeks ebesikhuluma ngaye ka Daniel chapter 9. Uyaphela la 70 weeks ngo 34 AD. Nale covenant ebekufanele ngabuya yakho uKristu la iyaphela la. If ama-Jews awayakhanga le covenant, then iphelile, ngithi yazi ukuthi bayirejectile igospel. Then after that bese uya ku 70 AD. 70 AD isikhuluma manje ngale warning eMatthew chapter 24, uKristu mewonisha abantwana bakhe or abalandeli bakhe ama-disciples akhe ukuthi mase nibona iJerusalem alihaqwe izitha, yabona. When you see this abomination standing in the holy place, yazikhumbula lezi, flee to the mountains, yabona. Sathi ke kuzoqhamuka ama-Romans manje, ama-Romans azo-surround i-city la and azoyi-destroya le city manje because phela Israel rejectile igospel ngo 34 AD. So if you reject the gospel, if you kill Christ, you reject the gospel, you persecute abantwana bakaNkulunkulu. And so vele ke truth into efanele yenzeke manje, uNkulunkulu vele ubashiyile, into ezolandela it is destruction. uNkulunkulu uzophinde ke manje i-destroy Jerusalem using manje the Romans, uyabona, because eqaleni besebenzise bani, the Babylonians ngesikhathi sa Jeremiah, siyabona. So even nalo 70 years noma ngazi kodwa you can see ukuthi ungazuthi kwawona ufuna ukuba reminder ukuthi nina nanzani, nina nangeniswa eBabylon for how long? 70 years. Angithi yakhumbula ngayo yona lento. So manje uNkulunkulu uthumela ama-Romans this time, not the Babylonians, ukuthi azoba destroy, azobashaya manje ngo 70 AD. So even nalo 70 lo ngazi ukuthi ukukhumbuza, ufuna ukuthi ubuyise ingqondo ukuthi konje ngaye ngawubona, uyabona. So sithi ke uthi Ellen White la sithi ukuyifunda kancane lento ayishoyo. So mawufunda iGreat Controversy, this 88 version of iGreat Controversy, isihloko sokuqala nje, chapter yokuqala ikhuluma ngedestruction yeJerusalem. So funda page 36 paragraph 2. Kuthiwa la, the Savior's prophecy concerning the visitation of judgments upon Jerusalem is to have another fulfillment, on which that terrible desolation was but a faint shadow. In the fate of the chosen city, we may behold the doom of a world that has rejected God's mercy and trampled upon his law. So, mesibheka iJerusalem yake, ufanele upicture le city ke, this chosen city reject uNkulunkulu wayo, manje sekuyi-punishment, right? Dark are the records of human misery that earth has witnessed during its long centuries of crime. The heart sickens and the mind grows faint in contemplation. Terrible have been the results of rejecting the authority of heaven. So, ama results ke oku reject the authority of heaven is twamabi. But a sin yet darker is presented in the revelation of the future. So, ngamanye amazwi njengamanje if manje sibheka into ezokwehlela iJerusalem manje ngo-70 AD kuthiwa it's a shadow of something ezayo in the future liyanto siyabona ake sibizwe the records of the past, the long procession of tumults, conflicts and revolutions, the battle of warrior with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. What are these in contrast with the terrors of that day when the restraining spirit of God shall be wholly withdrawn from the wicked, no longer to hold in check the outbursts of human passion and satanic wrath? The world will then behold as never before the result of Satan's rule. So into eyenziwayo ke njengamanje la kulento esifundayo kufanekiswa into eyehlela iJerusalem. So into eyehlela iJerusalem ngo-70 AD bese leyo nto ifanekiswe noma kuthiwe izosinikeza this picture ukuthi kuzokwenzekani at the close of probation uma ngabe i-restraint kaNkulunkulu seyidedeliwe. Angithi uyabona, because uyakhumbula ukuthi sikhulume ngokuthi since 1989 these four angels are holding the four winds. So lama winds they want to blow but they are being restrained. Angithi uyabona, so azodedelwa nini, azoba let loose at the close of probation. Uyabona la Michael mase sukuma bese destruction itezolandela. So senzani la, so into eyehlela iJerusalem ngo-70 AD Ellen White uyithaya ayihlanganise nento ezokwehlela umhlaba at the end of the world. So sizama manje uku-establish ukuthi 70 AD close of probation njengoba sisho ama-Jews afika ama-Roma afika destroy city and everything. Then bese siba no 100 AD. So 100 AD ila ke manje kubuya uKristu khona ngithi. So ake siphinde sifunde nge-quotation la ezosiqinisekisa ke futhi la. So sifunda ke manje manuscript release volume 19 page 40 paragraph 4. Sifunda ke ngale waymark ku-100 AD ukuthi kwenzekani lapha. In the days of the early Christians, Christ came the second time. His first advent was at Bethlehem, when he came as an infant. His second advent was at the Isle of Patmos, when he revealed himself in glory to John the Revelator, who fell at his feet as dead when he saw him. All right. So, sizwile kuthi uKristu wafika eBethlehem as an infant, wafika ke ingane ukuqala lo ke fika, but two phinde wafika futhi the second time mase fika in the Isle of Patmos, angithi kusho njalo. So sithi at the Isle of Patmos ngo-100 AD, siyazi ukuthi ke this is a rough number, 100 AD, because it's 10. Angithi sithi ngesikhathi ngalesi sikhathi kuphethe le emperor ekuthiwa ubani uDiocletian ophethe ngo-81 to 95 angithi. So uJohn bamise ePatmos roughly 95 AD. Uyabona kuphethe this emperor esithi uDomitian, sorry, not uDiocletian, uDomitian. So 100 is a rough number, but esikushoyo ukuthi Patmos is the second coming of Christ kuleya history. So sizama ukuvala ke lesifundo sokuqala ke manje. So we are trying to show ukuthi ke you have 5 waymarks kule history enkulu, yabona sithi it's a big line ngoba history phethe onke lamanye ama histories le up until uChrist abuye. So then manje ke sofuna establish these groups, right? So angithi sithi you have 3 groups but 2, okay, sibhale la sikhumbuzane besithe you have the priest, the Levites and the Nethinims, right? So nanga ke lama groups sifuna ke manje ukuthi sidileke nawo ngoba sithe kukhona ama groups ayi3 kule history nje ukuyibona nje. So sizama ke manje ukuwaveza ukuthi even nalama groups azoba neline yawo ngaphansi kwale line, ngitsho yabona, because uNkulunkulu this is how he works. Usebenza ngalolu hlobo ukuthi uzokunikeza eyakhe history, your history, and then because le history iyona ezokuveza ukuthi wena uyamamukela uNkulunkulu noma awumamukeli yini. So this is this process ekufanele wonke umuntu adlule kuyona le, and it's a 5-step process, 1 2 3 4 5, because this is this agricultural model esidila ngayo ekuwukuthi egcineni fanele kube khona iharvest, kubonakala ukuthi isitshalo siready ukuthi singasetshenziswa ukuthi sidliwe, ifruit likhona or alikho ifruit, bangithu yabo. So ilonto esenza njengamanje. So soqala ku history kaKristu. So ku history kaKristu sikhulumeke ngama disciples, right? So ama disciples lawa, so ama disciples history yawo iqala. So akho the special noma a secret la no a complicated. So history yama disciples nayo izobiqala ngobani? Ngo4 BC ekuzala uJohn. Iyafana naleya history angithi uyabona. And then waymark yesibili ize ku 27 AD, iyafana yabona, 27 AD akho ndo special. And then umehluko besuba la manje, umehluko kukhona la. Waymark yesithathu sizothini 1 TC, siyabona. So first temple cleansing. So ila uChrist efika khona etempelini la, eze etempelini lakhe, efika abantu bedayisa, efika abantu beshintsha imali, efika benza zonke lezi zinto, ila esezoveza ukuthi ungumesaya manje uzoqala umsebenzi wakhe. First fana clean itemple angithi uyabona. So this is first temple cleansing, le temple alicleanayo ke okokuqala ngoba ke mo lapho ufunda carefully uKristu ulicleane kabili le temple, ekuqaleni kweministry yakhe but ekugcineni futhi kweministry yakhe uzophinda licleane le temple futhi aphinde futhi angene futhi aginqa amatafula futhi enze leyo nto yabona at the end of his ministry. So this is why uzwa say this is a first temple cleansing, right? So sithi ke waymark yesithathu le, then bese uba nayo phi waymark lapha, the cross, angithi uyabona. So bese bemthatha bemfaka esiphambanweni. So this is a waymark. Then the waymark yesithathu yokugcina ke, it's Pentecost, uyabona. So this is Pentecost. So you can see ke ukuthi ke according to le model lesiyakhile lapha ya. So a close of probation yabo, and then second coming of Christ liya yabo. Siyabona. So Sunday law yabo nansi ya. Siyabona. So it is following the same structure as isinikiwe, because lama symbols you can take them straight from Great Controversy, Sunday law, close of probation, second coming of Christ. So yenza ngesinye esilandelayo lama waymark angezansi, Sunday law, close of probation, second coming of Christ. Swabona ukuthi swathola lama waymarks, uyabona, because sona structure sisinikiwe lesiyana from inspiration with Great Controversy. So it is following the same structure kenala Sunday law, close of probation, second coming of Christ, but still on the history manje yama disciples, siyabona. So sibuya ke manje sidile ngoba ngithi sithe awuthula ama history yabona. So sibuya manje sidile naba priest manje kwephi history, history ye 144,000 yakhumbula ukuthi sidila nalama histories in parallel angithi. So sifuna ukudila nale history nezansi eqala ngo1989 2000 Sunday law, close of probation kanjalo uyabona. So kule history yethu esiphila kuyona ngo1989, so sizoyifaka phezukwayo yona le. Bekufuze ngabe siyenza separate ukuze icace, because asinaso space. This is why ubona sizihlanganisile lezi zinto. Anyway, history yaba priest ke manje kule history ke siphila kuyona ke kulomhlaba ke kule period iqala ngo1989 yabona. So akukho difference ngoba nalapha bengekho difference, beku 4 BC nala ku 4 BC. So nala u1989 nala u1989 yabona. Then bese siya kule history yesibili, le history yesibili bese sithi u2001. So nala akukho difference futhi yabona, because u2001 nala u2001 yabona. So akukho, I mean u27 AD nala u27 AD. So kusho ukuthi kufanele u2001 kunala kube u2001, right? So sithi ke manje siyaqhubeka kuze ke ibe clear ke into esifundisayo. Sihlele siyawazi lama points, maybe mhlambe ngibhale la Sunday law, close of probation, second coming, right? So and then you point elandelayo ke manje la liphi khuluma ngaba priest ke manje. So sizobe sesiyasho 2014 we have to establish lama waymarks ukuthi siwathola kanjani lo 2014. Then the close of probation yaba priest, it was 2019 yabona, and then the second coming was 2021. So now history about priest kulesikhathi esiphila kusona, le group yokuqala mesikhuluma ngaba priest sikhuluma ngani group yokuqala. Ngithi sithe ama group ayi2 fanele kubizwa aba priest, kubizwa ama Levites, and then bese ke kubizwe ama-Nethinims abezizwe, yabona. So sithi ke this is the history ke of the priests, le group yokuqala. Then bese siya ke kwi-group yesibili, ama-Levites. Remember sikhuluma nge-Seventh-day Adventist Church today, right? So ithini leyanto? Ithi la kwi-Seventh-day Adventist Church kunama-groups ayi-2 ekufanele biziwe. I-group yokuqala sithe aba-priest, i-group yesibili obani? Ama-Levites, siyabona. So yiyo ke manje lesifuna ukudila nayo. So nayo izoba nalaba izolandela same pattern, yabona. Izolandela same pattern because God never changes. uNkulunkulu akaguquki, right? Sizo establish ke la ukuthi liphi ke lelia point. So but kodwa umehluko nje yini? Ngesikhathi beqala laba ama-Levites awekho, but later on uline wabo uyaqala. So njengoba wama-priest uqala la, owabo uqala la ngemuva, uyabona. So uhamba nje kanjalo nje. So i-group yesibili ke le, but ama-waymarks ayafana, but elokugcina ngithi ke alikho manje, yabo. Subuyela lapha phezulu, uyabona, ukuthi ke liphi ke leliya waymark after i-Pentecost, eliphi waymark elilandelayo. So ukuze sikwazi mhlawumbe ukuzibona kahle lezi zinto, mhlawumbe izocaca kahle kodwa mase sibuya nge-second half. But mase sibuya nge-second half sobe explaina leyanto ethi kukhona ama-waymarks ayi-2 laphaya, yabo, in between. So in between these waymarks there's 2 small waymarks aba in between. Kuba khona this big waymark, right? And then you have this big waymark, right? But you have these 2 small waymarks in between. So i-revision nje le sike sathi ukuyithinta kancane le yanto. So yona ke into ke le ezofanele si-familiarize nayo mase sibuya nge-second half yalesi sifundo, because manje ngibuza manje ukuthi iyiphi into esoyifaka la, but ukuze ukwazi ukuyibona manje kufanele uqale understande laphaya ukuthi ama-waymarks abimi kanjani, yabona. So it is ama-waymarks esizowasebenzisa ke nje la, sizosebenzisa this waymark sithi i-cross, angithi sizothi i-cross bese kuba i-Pentecost, yabona. So kulowa line omkhulu. So these waymarks in between lama waymarks amancane, it's a cross and Pentecost. So establish lezi zinto ungabi confused. So this is why manje ke njengobona ke manje ukuthi i-Pentecost phela sithe this is Pentecost, right? So i-waymark elandelayo ke manje iyiphi? It is 34 AD, uyabona. So this is why ke ubona ke senza ngalolu hlobo. So far we keep it simple ngalolu hlobo as siqhubeka, right? So sitheke sidila nalama histories in parallel. So kuleya line ya Christ phezulu, Pentecost, and then you have 34 AD, uyabona. So kuleya history ngezansi 34 AD uhlangene nobani, uhlangene ne-Sunday law. So kusho ukuthi from 2021 uza la you have what, this Sunday law waymark, uyabona. So bese ke siyaqhubeka ke siya kuma Netherlands. So igroup yesithathu ke manje le ama Netherlands. Right, nayo ina 5 waymarks angithi. So it's the same thing, these waymarks are the same. So ukuthi group net group iqala a step further, yabona. So zilandelana kanjalo nje. So it's the priest or my disciples, bese sithi the second group lesibiza ngama Levites, bese sithi ama Nethinims, right? So ama Nethinims yini sikhuluma ngama Gentiles angithi, igroup yesithathu abezizwe. So ama Levites igroup yesibili le, even nesitorini saKristu angithi besikhuluma nge second group angithi. So this is just to ukuveza nje ukukhumbuza ukuthi sidila nama histories ayi-2 in parallel at the same time. Sidila ne-history kaKristu, sidila ne-history yethu, uyabona. So yiko ubona a2 lama groups nje ehamba kanje, uyabona. So ke sithi ke ne-history yama Gentiles or ama Nethinims nayo ilandela same pattern, right? So it's the same thing. So these waymarks, we take them down nje simple kanje, 2001 27 AD 2001 first temple cleansing, 2014 yabona, close at the cross, and then 2019 law equity history, Pentecost ngesikhathi saKristu. This is 2021, our Pentecost is 2021, and then basically following line is 34 AD angithi uyabona, of which is Sunday law ke le Sunday law esiyibhekile siya kuyona njengamanje, because sidlulile 2021 that year seku 2023 manje. So siya manje siya towards Sunday law. So kusho ukuthi ke manje if ufuna ukubheka kuleya history yethu, so this was 2019 kahle kahle, and this is 2021, siyabona, because history kaKristu, history yethu, we're dealing with this history simultaneously. So 2021 2019 2021, and then after that it's a Sunday law. So 2021 after that is Sunday law. So after a Sunday law, i-waymark esiyisebenzisa manje is this clause of probation, yabona, because this is the ama waymarks esiwanikiwe njengamanje. So we are not going to go into details ukuthi kwenzekani la, because asange sinikwe information ukuthi kwenzekani lapha, even ama waymarks akhona, yabona. But esikwaziyo nje ukuthi ngo-34 AD gospel iyapi, iya kuma Gentiles, uyabona. Ngamanye amazwi ke at Sunday law, njengoba silinde i-Sunday law, kwenzekani i-Sunday law, i-gospel iyaphuma manje iyapi, iya kuma Gentiles or Nethinims, kuwena ukuthi babiza kanjani. So the following waymark esizoyisebenzisa manje ubani, 70 AD liya waymark liya, siyabona. And so ke kusho ukuthi ke le waymark vele esibiza ngokuthi close of probation kahle kahle. is the clause of probation. So masange complicate lento isimple njengoba siyibona. It is so simple. Singayilandela using ama documents. So if ufuna ukuyifunda kahle phansi ezinye izinto sometimes zingena kahle engqondweni mozifunda, but njengoba sizama ukuziveza nje la ebhodini, we are trying to show ukuthi you have three groups, okuwukuthi kulama groups ayi-3 there's 2 calls in the church, ilonto esiyishoyo, and then bese ke leyo gcina i-call iyobiza ama-Gentiles. So now ke lama histories, ama-disciples ngesikhathi saKristu igroup yokuqala, call yokuqala leyo. Call yesibili is the second group mekuthiwa phindani niyoshumayela ezimvweni zika-Israel, yabona. So kuyobizwa igroup yesibili lapho. So then ke ngo-34 AD masibekhanda uStephen ngamatshe, ake izulu lizoraise uPaul ke manje lo mpostoli ozofocusa ukuyoshumayela to the Gentiles, siyabona. So sithi ke manje nakule history yethu esiphila kuyona njengamanje iqale ngo-1989, same pattern ezolandelwa ukuthi kukhona igroup yokuqala ezobizwa ngo-1989 njengoba iphuma njengoba nangu lo line oqala, the priest ibiza ukuthi aba-priest lawo, but simply mean ngempela is the first group, right? So bese ke kuba khona enye igroup yesibili elandelayo ukuthi ke njengoba manje sebeyiphethe igospel laba abokuqala bazobe le gospel sebeyayiphinda ke manje bayoyiphindisa kwi-Seventh-day Adventist Church le group. Remember sikhuluma nge-Seventh-day Adventist Church at the end of the world, mesikhuluma nge-144,000 angithi. So ungayikhohlwa leyo nto ukuthi nala izolandela same pattern, because God never changes and God's dealings with men is ever the same, kusho kanjalo. So kuyafana. So mengabe kuukuthi utheme efika kuleya history ya Kristu, kuleya history yama Jews, this omega history of ancient Israel, mengabe efike mefika wasebenza ngalesi structure, wakhipha ama groups ayi-2 kwa Israel, and then wasethatha lama groups asehamba manje yoshumayeza izizwe using these groups. So uzophinde nalapho utenze the same thing, these calls. This is the same structure asisebenzisayo vele. So nala futhi kule history yethu esiphila kuyona, there has to be these 2 calls. Sisho njalo, sithe uEzra uqale kwabizwa abantu, mekufikwa kubalwa abantu kwathola ukuthi abapriest abakhona, ama-Levites awekho, and then kwaphuma i-call yesibili ukuthi ambanobiza ama-Levites, Ezra chapter 8 verse 15 and 16. Then bese ke emva kwaloko mase kubiziwe nama-Levites, and then kwase kubizwa ke also nama-Nethinims, siyabona, abezizwe. So ihamba kanjalo, angeke size sikwazi ukuyiguqula. And so ke sithi ke nala yonto esifundayo ke manje ukuthi same thing indlela azosebenza ngayo nakuthini, ukuthi uzobiza this first group esithi uyibizile ke manje ngo-1989, now line wakhona ophela ngo-2021 angithi uyabona. So kusho ukuthi manje ngo-2021 this first group yokuqala, or this first people, this first call seyiwenzile umsebenzi wayo, le group yokuqala seyi-gathered angithi uyabona. And then manje le group yokuqala ke manje iyona ke manje ezobe seyithini, ezobe seyiyobiza the second group, njengoba kuthiwa shumayelani kuqala ezimvweni zaka-Israyeli kuqala ezilahlekile angithi uyabona. So before kuyoshunyayelwa eminyango, so uNkulunkulu akakwazi ukuthi angayoshumayela eminyango kodwa abantu bakhe beshabalala endlini yakhe, uyabona. So gospel begins in the house of the Lord. or judgment begins in the house of the Lord. So sithi usebenza kanjalo. So sithi even nalowa 70 weeks not to 70 weeks u-2300 day lo esimaziyo ulandela same structure, because Daniel chapter 9 uthini kuthiwa Daniel 70 weeks yabo are determined for your people. So kuthiwa lapana kulo 2300 days Daniel 70 weeks is for your people. So abantu ba Daniel oba it's Israel, it's the church angithi yabo. So 70 weeks is given to the church, to Israel. Then after that kuzokwenzekani? Then go 34 AD, because iqala ngo 457 BC lento, and then go 34 AD igospel iyaphuma ke manje iyapi to the Gentiles angithi yabona. So first the church, first faniqalepi in the church, and then bese iyaphuma iya kuma Gentiles. So yona ndlela sebenza ngayo kuNkulunkulu, but into esenzayo nje njengamanje we want to show ukuthi kunama calls ayi2 la okubiza abantu baNkulunkulu before umsebenzi uphume uye kuma Gentiles phela ngo1844 le history yangithi. So siveza nje lonto yonke sivezayo la ukuthi there are 3 groups, the priests, the Levites and the Nethinims, and so uNkulunkulu uzosebenza ke in that order ukuthi ke manje uzobiza the first group, the second group, and then like lama groups ayi2 abese yawasebenzisa ke to reach le group yesithathu, ngoba sithe lama group ayi2 awakuphona awaba Israel angithi, and so bese ke laba ke bama Gentiles laba ngithi uyabona. So these are Gentiles. So ihlukene kanjalo ke nje lento ukuthi this is what we are showing ukuthi by 2021 igroup yokuqala it is gathered already, and so this is why njengamanje umsebenzi owenzekayo manje from 2021 to Sunday law, kusukela kuleya period to Sunday law inenzekayo njengamanje kubizwa manje the second group angithi uyabona. So iwona umsebenzi oqhubekayo manje ukuthi kukhona a second call kwa Israel 70 Adventists leyo njengamanje ekufanele abantu babe ready, babe prepared ukuze bahambe ke manje bahambise this 300 message to the world. Note ukuthi kufanele labantu abazoshumayela le gospel at Sunday law kube abantu abatrained angithi yabo, and futhi kuthiwa bazoya kanjani futhi bengayinikwanga message. So kufanele banikezwe message abazoyishumayela angithi uyabona. So you have to have this message, you have to be trained kule message, fanele uyazi le message ozoyishumayela, because akwazi ukuvela uyoshumayela ungazi ukuthi yipi message ifanele siyoyishumayela angithi uyabona. So this is why moto yabheka uKristu before akuthuma abantu ngo34 AD ukuthi mabaye ukushumayela, uqale wahlala nabo sonke lesisikhathi 3.5 years training them, train ukuthi ubanika message yabafundisi, because kufanele bafundiswe uyabona, because manje ngithi bahlangene nale ngqondo, ingqondo yabo isahlangene nale nto yama Jews angithi uyayibona. This message bebeyiphethe in error angithi uyabona. So they don't understand the kingdom. Uyakhumbula ukuthi even nalo Messiah bebelinde umuphi uMessiah bona, bebelinde uMessiah uphethe sword like abantu abafana no Samson angithi abazoshaya abantu ngemihlathi bese kukhulula uIsrael uyabona. So balinde that type of a Messiah. So kufanele baguqulwe bafundiswa ngithi uyabona. So leyo nto uKristu ahleli nabo ke uyabafundisa manje this 12. So uzothi mase be ready ke manje siyabona sengabashiya ke manje, and then with 31 AD isiphambanweni abese yabashiya abesethi ke lindane eJerusalem ninika umoya ongcwele nibese ke nizobe senready ukuthi niyahamba niyofundisa ke manje uyabona. So nangempela bazohlala balinde yabona, because we have to wait and you have to be told utshela ukuthi izohamba kanjani yonke le nto yale gospel. Ayihambi ngokuhlakanipha komuntu ukuthi izinto zenze kanjani. No, you have to hear from God ukuthi izohamba kanjani yonke le nto yegospel, ngoba ayenziwa ukuhlakanipha komuntu le nto yabona, ihamba ngomoya oyingcwele. So sithi ke this is why ibona these three groups, lama groups ay3 ehlukaniswe ngalolu hlobo ukuze uNkulunkulu utrain abantu bakhe manje abazokwenza umsebenzi at the end of the world. And fanele manje uze unikwe message ozoyiphathela laba bantu at the end of the world. And manje fanele kube imessage leyo eqhamuka from heaven, so not imessage esuka la kuwena engqondweni, because ama dynamics awasafani phela manje. Ngithi lo mhlaba esihleli kuona manje it's different, and abantu bakhona ba different, and the system esebenza is different. Angithi yabo. So we are at the end of the world. So this is why khona quotation ebesifunda ku Great Controversy esitshela ukuthi different periods in the history of the church. So ama churches are different, or ama periods are different, so the message is different uyabona. So finally the message it may develop, we understand, and this will become kaNkulunkulu nale increase of knowledge esitshelwa ngayo ku Daniel chapter 12:4 ukuthi this increase of knowledge, the unsealing of the book, and the angel of Revelation 10 may fika nebhuku elivuliwe. So yona ezokunikeza this message uyabona. So you can't just when I have a message. No, you have to know from these scriptures and from these figures and these prophecies ukuthi this is the message. Basically a stamp of approval from God ukuthi this is the message, and you are trained. And then manje ke so ungahamba ke, not just any time. You can't preach here uthi wena sambeni sishumayela emhlabeni. You can't preach here uthi fanele sishumayela emhlabeni. No, you have to wait for the approval of God and the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. Ukuthi okay, from now on ke manje sesingahamba ke manje sesitholile imvula, and then siyoshumayela uyabona. So this is why ubona this agricultural model esikhuluma ngayo la ukuthi kahle kahle iyona ezochazela ukuthi first you have to plow. Angithi fanele uplow ulungise umhlabathi yabona, uvele nje wenza izinto noma iningi, and then bese kutshalwa this seed yabona, yonke into inesikhathi sayo, right? Bese kwahlika nemvula ke manje yabona. The early rain is for what? It's for ukuthi khulise lesi sitshalo lesi sihlahla, and then bese kuba khona lapha yake manje this outpouring of the Holy Spirit, and then ke manje bese ke siya kwi harvest ekugcineni yabona. So inama stages into esizama ukuyiveza yonke le nto esishoyo ukuthi these stages fanele siwalandele ukuze umsebenzi kaNkulunkulu at Sunday lo mase ibandla liphelele, the church is complete, the two groups have been harvested in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, they are ready to do the work, and as of harvestwa in lama groups is the message which is developing. So as the message is developing, then the groups are harvested. Ngoba sikhuluma ngemvula sikhuluma ngani? Sikhuluma ngemessage. Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 1 angithi verse 1 and 2 siyatshela ukuthi this rain imvula yini, it's doctrine, it's a message. So abantu fanele banikezwe message yona futhi ezoba separate angithi ama wheats ngapha and the tares ngapha to Matthew chapter 13, because the message yona enamandla to separate the two classes, because they have to be separated. This is why we figure this message, and then abantu bazofanele bacacise ukuthi bazomamukela yini this Messiah lo Christ uyabona. And so maybe mamukela lo Christ, so you are accepting the message angithi, and then ukuthi you are falling on the right stream, on the right side yayo yonke leyanto. So in a nutshell singayanga phambili, this is what we are trying to show ngalama three groups. This is an introduction ukuthi sizozama ukudevelopa kuyo siya phambili, but nje simply as that sophinde futhi sizama ukushayela kahle ukuze sikwazi ukubona ukuthi kahle kahle what is really happening kulabo line, and ubone umsebenzi ke manje wale message because toward the angels are reapers. Matthew chapter 13. Abantu abavunayo obani? It's the angels. And what are the angels? The angels represent messengers, and it. So if you are a messenger, unan, you have a message. So kahle kahle yini ezo separate abantu la? The wheat and the tares, it's the message. Yabo? Then does the two Christ know? Ungabahlusuli manje, leave it until the harvest. Labezo separate wakon. Yabon. Yini ezo be separate, it's the message. Because abantu message yon ezo exposer, it develop this character, or it veze this character onayo wena njengokuthi umKristu angithi yabo. And Ellen White uyasho ukuthi mesikhuluma nga 25 Matthew 25 mesikhuluma ngama virgins, these 10 virgins, wise foolish virgins, right? Ukuthi this oil, yinlo oil, this oil is the character, angithi. So it's this character you are developing when mesikhuluma ngo-oil, angithi, because sikhuluma ngomsebenzi kaMoya Ongcwele, building your character, ukuthi uyavuma yini ukuthi lo oil ukwakhe. So sithi this is the character. Okusho ukuthi ke manje lama messages anamandla ke to expose this character elakuwena, ukuthi this character ekuwena, is it the character of God, or which spirit is in you? Lead to a spirit. So lama messages azoprove alone. This is why khona bawa acceptayo, khona banjani, khona bawa rejectayo. So in a nutshell, we are closing. This is an introduction. So ilokho lebesizama ukuyiveza, sizophinde sizilandele lezi zinto esifundweni esilandelayo. God bless.